What's goody? Hey man, the Boston Celtics have traded Jrue Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers for Anthony Simons and two second round picks. And let's go ahead and let's dive right into it, dog. This was a trade that I didn't really see coming, mostly because I think this trade makes absolutely zero sense for the Portland Trail Blazers. I understand that if you're Portland, you were going to trade one of Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, and Anthony Simons, and Anthony Simons is the one you've seen the most of, whereas people think Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp can be just a little bit better than Anthony Simons, which whether that ends up being true or not, we'll see. But what I don't get about this move is you are a team that is rebuilding. You are a team that is a completely young team. So for you to go out here and trade a young player for an old Jrue Holiday, a guy that could very well retire right now today if he wanted to, and then to have to give up two second round picks in the deal just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why Portland would do this, and I feel like Anthony Simons is a guy that has immensely more value on the market than Jrue Holiday, unless you're trading Jrue Holiday to a contender. And I don't know what contender is going to be trading for Jrue Holiday and is going to be able to A, afford him, and is going to be able to B, give you a good package for him that is better than what Anthony Simons gives you. I think after the Desmond Bain trade to Orlando, I do think the market for Anthony Simons got a little bit worse because I just don't know where he really would fit in today's NBA. Other than a team like the Magic that needs shooting, that just needs some more offense. But for him to go to Boston, I think this is a massive W for Boston. He doesn't give you the defense that Jrue Holiday does, but he's going to play more games than Jrue Holiday. He played 70 games last year, and Jrue Holiday, while he did play 62, he's a guy that Jrue Holiday you think of as more of a risk when it comes to injuries, right? Whereas you don't think about those same things when it comes to Anthony Simons. He's a guy that just averaged 19 and 5 on 40, 36, 90 splits, and for his career is a 38% three-point shooter, whereas Jrue Holiday last year was averaging 11, 4, and 4 while shooting 35% from the three. So you're getting more offense while they're around the same efficiency, and this guy's going to play more games for you. He's going to be just as efficient, but or if not more efficient, but on more attempts, especially from deep. I just think this is a huge W for Boston. Sure, their defense gets worse, but when you have guys like Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis for the moment, Jason Tatum when he's healthy, you don't need another guy that is going to be an all-world defender. Plus, I still believe that they're going to end up trading Kristaps Porzingis because they are still about $20 million above the second luxury tax. So they're still going to have to trim about $20 million to escape that luxury tax entirely. And I think that's something they're going to do, right? Especially with Porzingis and his injuries / illnesses, whatever he's been having going on for like this whole damn season. He's probably gone, right? And within a year where Jason Tatum is hurt, Anthony Simons does give them more offense. He takes some of the pressure off of a guy like a Jaylen Brown, right? Because you are going to need somebody to alleviate that with Jason Tatum and his Achilles injury, man. I'm a huge fan of this trade for the Boston Celtics, and again, I don't get this for the Trailblazers because are you going to go and trade Jrue Holiday now? Are you looking for just another vet on this team? I don't get it at all. Are you going to buy him out? Is Jrue Holiday going to retire? I just am completely confused. And then what really blows me is the fact that you had to actually give up draft capital in this deal. It just doesn't make sense at all to me. And if you're a Trailblazers fan, I would love to hear how you could maybe there's an angle of this that I'm not seeing. Maybe there's something that the Portland Trailblazers or maybe their fans are seeing with this deal that I'm not seeing, because I'm not seeing anything that makes me go, oh yeah, this makes even the smallest amount of sense for Portland, because it doesn't to me. And I don't get it. You didn't get a draft pick in return. You had to give up 2 seconds. It just doesn't make sense. And I do think Anthony Simons was kind of a little bit maybe like the odd man out in Portland, so I get that you had to trade him, or not had to trade him, but I get you kind of had to do something with your team, right? You couldn't just, you probably felt like if you're the Portland Trailblazers that you couldn't just sit around and do nothing for yet another year. You really wanted to try to get better, and I get that completely I do, but you're telling me a team like the Orlando Magic wouldn't have taken him at the trade deadline for a better package? You're telling me that other teams around the league might not have taken him at the trade deadline for a better package? And I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. And in a year where the East is seemingly wide open with Damian Lillard being hurt, Jason Tatum being hurt, Tyrese Halliburton being hurt, the Knicks don't have a coach yet. You know what I'm saying? There are things in the Eastern Conference is pretty much wide open right now. And while I don't think this move does anything to make the Celtics like a real contender while Tatum is out, I think when Tatum comes back, you love this team even more. And like I said, the defense gets worse, for sure. Jrue Holiday is a million times better of a defender than Anthony Simons. But is that worth the the age, the youth of Anthony Simons, who better fits this Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown timeline, because he's, what, 25 years old, and those guys are like 27, 26, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, or maybe 27, 28. Those guys are pretty young themselves. He fits this timeline better, whereas Jrue Holiday's a guy that, as we already mentioned, is probably going to retire soon. I don't know, man. I really am trying to understand this trade from the Portland Trailblazers' point of view, and I really just don't get it at all. I'm interested to see if the Portland Trailblazers are going to try to make another move off of this one, and I'm also interested to see if the Boston Celtics are still going to trade a Kristaps Porzingis, what they're going to do. Maybe Al Horford's going to retire. I'm just interested to see what other moves the Boston Celtics could have bouncing off of this one to make their team better. Right now, I'm not a huge fan of the Boston Celtics team, right? Like, I do think some changes needed to be made, and I'm interested to see what Anthony Simons looks like on this team. Especially, I'm also especially interested to see, like, on this team where he's going to take less of an offensive role, because you have a Jaylen Brown, you have a Jason Tatum, you have even a Derek White. I'm interested to see if they can maybe get him to buy in a little bit more on that defensive side of the ball, because he's probably not going to have to do as much when this team is fully healthy on the offensive side of the ball. Now, this year, he's gonna be doing a lot on the offensive side of the ball because of the Tatum injury. But once this team is fully healthy, and you don't need him to be a 20-point per game scorer, and you don't need him to be taking as many shots as he's been taking, you don't need him to have as much of an offensive load, will they be able to get him to maybe buy into the defensive side of the ball a little more? Because if they can, this trade looks even better for them, in my opinion. But we know Anthony Simons hasn't been that guy, so I'm not expecting him for him to just randomly become a guy that is like a defensive anchor or a defensive menace or even a positive on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, man, let me know what y'all think about this. I'm very, very interested to see what moves both of these two teams do. And if I had to give this a grade, I'd say probably A- for the Celtics, and I'd say I'm going to give this like a D for the Portland Trailblazers, because I don't understand it at all. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about this move. Portland Trailblazers fans, let me know if y'all are seeing something that I'm not seeing. Let me know if this move makes more sense to y'all than it does to me. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching as always. All glory be to God. God loves you, and so do I. All right, man. Peace out.